Okay, BackChat powered by Paywise in season 2025. We're in our Melbourne studios this week, chatting some very good guests, but this man may be the most prestigious, given he's a backman.
Oh, yeah.
Charlie Comben joins us from the North Melbourne Footy Club. Hello, mate. How are you?
Nah, very well. Very good. Thanks for having me too, boys. I'm excited.
Well, I mean, it's a little
on the list for a
delayed.
bit.
I mean, you went and, buddy, what did you do? You break your scapula or something?
Got the little scap hit.
It can't be that bad to come on the pod that you're going to start getting your shoulder broken out the middle of the field.
Well, I reckon you cursed me, mate, because the first time we'd done an interview was pre-game that day, and I went out and copped the big Archer Reed knee, which did me in for a few weeks. So it's the Scully curse, and he's did me that game.
Let's get a curse
You
out there.
came back pretty quick from that, didn't you? Like I felt.
Yeah.
People were talking like I might not play again this season, and then all of a sudden you were in the list again.
Yeah, a bit of the commentary was that. It was like, it'll be 6 weeks, 7 weeks. And when I went off the ground, I couldn't move my arm at all. When I actually went off, my arm went dead. So it was flopping there for about 10 minutes. And I finally got a bit of movement back. I just hit a nerve. But I was in a sling for a week, and it ended up just coming good at 8 days. And I trained about 11 days later and played at 13. So in hindsight, I was pretty sore when I played. I trained on the Thursday. We played on the Saturday and got through training, did some contact, and Friday morning I woke up again, couldn't lift my arm. I'm like, oh, geez, like I've said I'm right to play here and I'm going to be in trouble. But I got to a point where I was able to move it enough to play and got ticked off, and Clarko was happy and the medical staff were happy. I wasn't at 100%, but I still reckon I performed my role out there.
Yeah, very good. Now we've jumped ahead, Dan.
Yeah, sorry.
Dreadful by you. The greatest sporting achievement thanks to TABtouch. I see you got a little soccer jersey on though. So
Yeah.
I want to know, look, we can see what you do for North Melbourne. You're a brilliant footballer. One of our favourites in the AFL, actually. But we'll get into that in a little bit. We want to know your greatest sporting achievement not on the football field.
Yeah, I've got a good one.
Oh, brilliant. Great.
I was always a big cricket fan. I played cricket growing up. And it would have been at 14, and I wasn't great at cricket. I was okay. I was a batsman, and I was always taller than any other batter that we had. I probably should have been bowling pies or chucking down quickies, but it wasn't me. And all my good mates were playing first and seconds, and I was stuck in the fourth. But this fourth year, we went all the way to the grand final, won the granny. I think I was probably one of the younger boys in the team. It was me, some other 50-year-olds with bit around the middle, but they used to make runs. I made 6 in the grand final and took a catch, and that was my claim to fame.
Nice.
So I'm a forced premiership player at the College Cricket Club.
I love that. Are they rolling out? Do you get a premiership cup, or are you getting medals?
We got medals. And
are you wearing your whites out to the bar afterwards?
Yeah. We went. So I was 14, so I rolled back to the cricket club. All the old boys having a few beers. I think I got half a beer. Mum said I could have half a beer, and
Nice.
and I enjoyed a bit of chit chat with the lads. But it was good memories.
Half a beer from Mum. That's brilliant. Thanks, Mum.
Would have tasted awesome as well.
Oh, mate, I honestly didn't like the taste of it.
Yeah,
Things change.
That's good memories of your mum, though, right?
Yeah,
That sort of stuff.
brilliant.
Mate. So tell us about growing up. What was life like growing up for you? What was sporting family?
Yeah, mostly. So I grew up in country Victoria. I grew up in Sale, which is about 3 hours from Melbourne, and yeah, always around sport. Mum was the one that pushed us into most of our sport. My brother and I, we played cricket, footy, basketball. We did some little athletics. So we really tried our hands at everything and had a little dabble. But footy was always the one that mainly took us. Mum taught me to kick, handball. She was always a netball player. Dad worked a lot offshore, and he'd always come to our games and take photos. But it was probably Mum a credit to actually teaching us the skills. But because we lived in a country town of only 12, 13,000 people, the whole time we were down at the cricket nets, bowling, at the footy oval, having a kick. There wasn't really much to do. Riding bikes, making dirt jumps. So it was a really good, wholesome childhood. I wouldn't change it for the world, but I probably credit that to why I was talented at football, is because I tried so many different sports.
How many siblings?
Just the one brother, Harry. Yeah, he's
Older,
2 years
older. So you're a younger sibling.
Yeah, youngest sibling, which is good. He used to beat me in all the fights. I reckon I've got him covered now. He's
I was going to say, who's the best now? Or is he still thinking he's better?
Nah, he probably still thinks he's better. He's moved away from footy. He stopped playing when he was about 17 and moved more into skating. And we look polar opposite, and we've got many different interests, but we share the same. He's got long hair, tattoos, very Brunswick kind of type for those Melbourne listeners. But we got him really well, and it's a good relationship now, but it was pretty rocky when we were in our teenage years.
Were you tall growing up? I mean, I'll get it off the bat early, like 200 plus podcasts doing great things.
Yeah.
Are you 199?
199.4, Scully. So you call me out. I can't actually round it up, can I?
Sorry. Sorry, what's happening?
To be fair, our other host, Nick Butler's 196, so I've got him covered.
Is anyone over 200?
No, Drapes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this feels like the bowling cartel in the Australian cricket team. You got to bowl over 140 like consistently to stay in it. How are you blokes maintaining the 200 plus operation?
It's a bit of a fallacy, but we've kind of moved away. It started off as a Ruckman's podcast, and we've moved away from that now into more a conversationalist footy podcast, which suits me better because my analysis on the game is horrific. So it's good I don't actually have to talk about footy much. But we interview guests. It's more about our weekly doings, and we tell stories. We're big storytellers. So anything that happens to us during the week, we might put a little bit of mail on it and get that out to our audience and they lap it up. So I really enjoyed doing that. I kind of fell into that 2 years ago as well. I didn't pick myself as a big media podcast person, but since I've been loving it.
You're a natural. So the question was, were you tall growing up, or did that happen? did that happen later in life?
No, that come about. It would have been at 15, 16 when I had a growth spurt. But I was always taller than average. Always played key position forward. I was never a ruck rover. I never played down back until I come into the AFL. But I was taller than average.
So you haven't been a backman for life?
Nah, about 2 years, and I feel I'm adopted backman, but I really feel part of the family now. I wouldn't give it up for the world.
No, you wouldn't.
Good.
No, and
Like
it's
to
good.
hear that.
Yeah, and it's not a ruckman podcast either. That's certainly not what it is. If you're
Imagine a pure ruckman podcast.
Oh, it would be. You would struggle to get a word out. It'd be rocks in the brains, honestly. We had X on one episode, and he failed to speak for the hour, and I had to explain to him later that, mate, you've come on the podcast to talk and tell your story. So I'm glad we're not that.
Well, I was going to ask you, and we'll get back to your story, but I'm playing in the Carlton draft this weekend.
Yeah.
And look, I represent defenders all over the country on a daily basis. I think it's a disgrace, the lack of opportunity, respect,
awards,
recognition that we get.
Yes.
However, I won't be playing in the back line for Hillends because the last thing I need is some sort of Nick Larkey operator who's been playing country footy for 12 years, just sizzling out from the goal square. Yeah. I've been doing that for long enough. So I'm going to play in the ruck. I'm going to play in the ruck. So I was going to ask the 200 plus boys, shin guards, is that sort of kosher, necessary?
We talk about shin guards a bit, and when I went on the podcast as a guest, I was playing forward ruck, so I was playing a bit of ruck, and I caught the boys' attention because I wasn't wearing a shin guard, and the boys called that raw dogging. So I used to raw dog the ruck, no shin guard. And,
what are your thoughts on that? Because I look at it and I sort of think, what's going on with the shin guards? I don't jump at all, so I think that's probably
like planks of wood as well.
I'm thinking you're going to be all right because if there's a country football ruckman jumping over you and hitting your shins, you're in a bit of trouble, mate. So I'd raw dog it and go the no shinny in the glue pot. So we've got our terminology. Glue pot's the sticky middle of the cricket wicket,
right?
And that's when you'll be doing your best work on the weekend.
I love this. You boys should be covering my game because
we should come down.
Not only has a backman never been represented in the Carlton draft, a ruckman hasn't either. So I'm a backman playing in the ruck, trying to look after the lads.
That's a serious hybrid. I'd be keen to see that.
Yeah, serious hybrid operator.
Pinching in the back line.
People have been saying, what sort of player are you going to be on the weekend? I've said Jared Brennan. I don't know if that's too old for you.
Yeah.
Mate, Jared Brennan was he could have been anything. He's a mix between Adam Goods, prime ruckman, Max Gorm, probably Polly Farmer. Like I'm talking,
just everything mixed
mate.
into
Cooter, like one hand. He is just one of the rarest operators of all time. That's who I've been.
And where did Jared Brennan get to in his career?
Jared Brennan played. Boys, I'd love a bit of help here. Played for Brisbane and for Gold Coast. How many games? I'd love to know how many games Jared Brennan spat out. So, all right. Just hit
the first link. Financial advisor.
Sorry, AFL hasn't got. No, he would have played 150 games.
He's played triple what I have.
173. 173. How young are you?
I am 23.
Were you a big footy fan growing up?
I was a big St Kilda fan. I didn't get to many games because we lived so far away, but I did go to, Mum saved up and got us to the 2010 replay grand final, and we left at 3/4 time to get home early.
So a Saints fan.
I loved Nicky Rewell. I loved Lee Montagna, Lenny Hayes, and Fraser Gehrig was the first footy badge I ever had, which I'm proud of.
Wow. Have you met any of those blokes post and told them that?
No, I haven't. I saw Nick Rewell in the corridors at where the boxes we sit in at the footy are maybe 2 years ago and said hello to him and could barely get a word out. Still a little bit starstruck. But I did tell Lee Montagna last year, he caught whiff that he was one of my favourites, and he rang up on the podcast, and same thing. I was a little bit starstruck, which is bizarre because I don't know, like I'm there now myself, but
yeah, you're a player. He's not. That's what I say.
But you always still keep your idols in check. They say never meet your idols, but Joey was a ripper.
I'd love to see you in a turtleneck next to Rui, like you and Rui just turtlenecked up.
I'd pull one off already.
I reckon you actually could.
I could go the turtle. I wore turtlenecks to our Mad Monday celebrations 2 years ago.
Did ya? Who you dressed as?
Bit of a piss take. I don't know. We didn't know what to do, so we all went as that Dwayne the Rock Johnson kind of character.
Oh,
we
brilliant.
Different turtlenecks on, but I think Rui looks a bit better than the Rock.
You went as Nick Rewald.
That'll be this year.
So, mate, you picked up in 2019, picked 31. Good number, that.
Great number.
Very good number. Are you number 31?
I'm 30. Yeah.
I thought I knew that three number. So, pick 31, 2019. You get to North Melbourne. What are your first thoughts to North Melbourne? Walking to the footy club?
I probably knew about three of the boys' names. I wasn't a big footy watcher. I'll put that out there. But I knew Jack Siebel, I knew Mad Jack, I knew Benny Brown and Shawnee Higgins, I reckon. So my first 2 weeks was learning everyone's name. I was pretty outgoing when I first went, probably a bit too much. I was probably the draftee that come in and everyone's like, oh, who's this kid? Like, what's he doing? And I was a skinny kid. I think I weighed about 80 kilo. I was playing forward. And I had a pretty good pre-season. Benny Brown was still playing good footy. Nick Larkey was on his way up, but wasn't an established player at that point. And me, being a naive 18-year-old, thought, oh, yeah, I'm going to play a fair few games this year, weighing 80 and trying to play on key backs. But I unfortunately broke my back the practice match before round one against Melbourne and missed the whole year. But it was a tumultuous year. We ended up in the hub up at in Gold Coast. But one thing I'll never forget from my first year actually involves you. And it was
boy, oh boy,
it was. Do you remember the COVID Zoom meetings we used to have to do with the AFLPA?
Yeah.
I was like, this Will Schofield bloke, every time that we were on these meetings would just have little smart ass comments in the thing at Paulie Marsh. You'd be asking Marshy the most stupid questions, just get him riled up.
So by text, or did I actually speak? I can't remember.
No, I think there was 2 meetings. I remember both times. One was a comment down the bottom, and I reckon Marshy made note of it but didn't answer it and almost ignored it. And the other one was definitely some kind of verbal comment about payments and what we're going to get, which is fair.
The first one I remember, because we've got guys like Scotty Pendlebury and Jack Rewald, these massive mega Melbourne clubs going, what about us? What about us? And then I was like, how about us, Marsh? Any thoughts for Western Australia, or just we're just going to sort Melbourne over? That was bizarre. So that's, you think back to that, and you're 1-2 years into your
first year, yeah,
and you I don't know, who did we speak to? It was their first year. Did Nick Martin?
Yeah,
someone's first year was COVID.
That was their first experience,
and it was like,
yeah.
You kind of don't have any other experience.
Well, I didn't know anything different. So all the boys are complaining about, we're away from our families. Geez, we're up on the Gold Coast, the sunny Gold Coast. Like, how shit's footy? And I was thinking, this is brilliant. I'm getting paid to go to the gym, try to put some weight on, get a tan with Kane Turner next to the sunbed, and then walk on the beach so you can't sit on it. So that was my first year of footy. And honestly, it held me in good stead. I put some weight on that year. I was pretty close to a lot of the boys, although a lot, unfortunately, got cleared out after that year. But it solidified my kind of social spot in the team and able to make connections and relationships. Probably furthered that more than being in Melbourne and only seeing the boys every 2 or 3 days.
Were you always not playing that season? Like, did you know your season was over after the injury?
Yeah, so I had two fractures in my L4 and L5 thanks to Oscar McDonald.
Shout out Oscar.
Put a big knee through me in the back.
Was that courageous by you, or were you just in a bad spot?
I probably went back with the flight stupidly. I've got a bit of a habit of that, just kind of jumping backwards in the packs, which is how I did my shoulder. So Clark has had a few words to me about that, but yeah, he got me pretty good, and after that, I knew I was done because I had disc issues as well as a part of that injury. But yeah, I got back at the end of the year, and then I got a fresh stress fracture in my leg maybe 3 weeks later after full training, and that nearly wrote off my full 2021 season, which was my second year. I ended up debuting later in that year, but only just. I think it was second last game.
We were in the same venue at the hub. I remember seeing Shorey doing laps.
Yeah.
He used to just be like walking laps in my room, basically.
Twin Waters.
Cove, something? Sanctuary Cove.
Oh, Sanctuary Cove, that's right.
We're in the north, because we were in the same, but like, it's just bizarre to think back to what was going on there. Like, That was my last year. So your first year was my last year, and then I fractured my back exactly like you.
Yeah, okay.
In the waffle.
Yeah,
that was all she wrote.
Pretty painful, yeah, and you just got to lay down the whole time.
Yeah,
but yeah, the hub experience was bizarre for us as well. I love Shorey and what he brought to the club. He was such a relationship person, and he was a great coach. But just that environment was such a pressure cooker for everyone in there. Would have been really hard as a first time senior coach as well.
So I mean, you mentioned a few injuries, but it's sort of like I don't really want to go every injury you've had, but you've had a few, right? Like it feels like I don't know. You tell us. It feels like it's been littered across your career as injury.
Yeah, definitely early on. The last 2 years have been great. I mean, I still had a shoulder surgery and I had a groin surgery in the last year, which was bizarre on an artery. But these 2 years have been the first 2 years I've had a full season of footy. And this little shoulder hiccup will be fine. It'll be 2 or 3 weeks and I'll be back and fit. But my first 8 years of footy, all I've known are bone breaks. And it's probably partly to do with the way I play, which I'm aware of, but it's also just partly poor luck as well and being a skinny kid. So I look at it pretty positively. I could have had 8 years of soft tissue injuries and be like, gee, maybe footy's not for me, maybe it's too explosive. But bone breaks, they heal stronger than they were before. And yeah, the time out of the games probably caused me to be more grateful for what I've got and give good perspective that careers don't last forever. I've set myself up well outside of footy, I feel, as well as a result of that, because I know how fickle a career is. But yeah, every game I play now, every time I run out, I look around and soak up and think, how good is this? How good have I got it? So good perspective, I reckon.
Bloody oath. I love how you pointed at me when you said footy careers don't last forever. No, don't, mate. You're right. You're dead right.
Before we go too far into your career, you kicked your first goal on debut.
Yeah.
After the siren, which I thought,
win?
I was like, oh, that's an elite way to kick your first goal, to cut the margin to 14.
Sorry.
That must be like such a weird moment to kick your first goal. Everyone's so up and about, but the game's over and you lost.
Yeah, I had a footy clinic this morning. I was talking to a kid about that, and it was the most bizarre feeling because I've taken this. I hadn't touched the ball a game. I think it had 5 touches at that point, and Luke McDonald kicked me up from centre circle. I took a mark, and the vision, I think I do about 40 forward rolls as a bit of theatricalness. But I went back. Tom McCartan spraying me on the mark. He's like, you haven't touched it all day. And I slotted it, and I thought, well, geez, that was good. Cut the margin back. Like I couldn't celebrate. I put my head down. Jaiden Stevenson ran over. Goldie gave me a bit of a rub on the head, and I was like, oh, first goal. That was sick.
And that was it. The boys couldn't get around you.
Not really. We just lost to Sydney. So, like, I mean, for that season, we were lucky we were within 40 points. But
that's one of the great first goal stories.
Oh, it's a shocker.
Tom McCartan sprayed me on the mark.
I got nothing. Got nothing for it. Good kick though.
I mean, yeah, correct. You showed him how to do it. What about like again? We had Nick Larkey on. Yeah. Chatted about North Melbourne.
Yeah.
Yeah. It hasn't been a successful time for the footy club.
Nah.
So, what's the feeling from players, from and teammates? And we mentioned a moment there where you lose. Like, how desperate is that group to get back to winning?
Yeah, well, I think to the core group, and you mentioned sort of he's been a part of that group. It's Jai, it's me, it's Luke McDonald, it's Nick Larkey, Trishan Sherry, that kind of core group. We've all been there since 2019, 2020. And that was kind of the spot where we started to go downhill, and we haven't won a lot of games since then. But I still think it's massive optimism and a confidence in what we've built as a group under Clarko in the last 3 years. And now we've played, really only 1.5 years under his game plan. He obviously had a bit of time out, and we've got so many young kids that come in. Everyone says, oh, the youth. Well, yeah, the youth to come in, but it's about playing games together as youth as well. You can't just bring in 10 top 8 draft picks and expect them all to play really well at first glance as well. And it's about finding chemistry in the team and finding who plays well in what position, which I think we're starting to get. And our last 8 weeks we've just had, Scully, like we've really found that and found some connection on field, and we found what works, and we're starting to play consistent good footy now. Yeah, we haven't had a lot of wins this season. It would have been nice to win some more, but I think we have genuine evidence and belief that we can say, look at that 8 weeks, we can play footy to that standard, and we can just get better from there, because there's still so many holes in our game as well. So it's confidence, it's optimism. We'd love it to be quicker, but this is just the process we're in, so it's going to happen when it happens, and hopefully that's next year for us when we can jump up the ladder a bit. But we've still got 7 games this year to do that as well.
I agree.
One of the wins this year was against West Coast. And
do you enjoy that?
I did not enjoy that because we're desperate. We're 1-16 or 17 or 18 by the time this comes out, so who knows. But there was like a tattoo bet on the line that Hamish Brayshaw and I made, and then I did get this the kangaroo. But I do have you to thank because you were very gentle on me, and we agreed that you would pick the design.
Well, is this Charlie's design?
Yeah.
Well, he just said like a thin.
I did him a favour, mate.
Yeah, he was
I
like
really
just
did.
thin line kangaroo. So that's it there. So I am grateful that it wasn't like a kangaroo riding an eagle or something. Which
Well, Dan did text me and he said, "Oh, you've got to pick this tattoo. I've got to get that." Hammer's kind of gone in a deal with me, and I thought, geez, mate, if I was an Eagles fan, like I wouldn't want a kangaroo tattoo on me. So I went easy and I just said, just
No,
get
I
a fine
appreciate that.
line.
Really
You can do what you want with it down the track. Maybe fill it in. Maybe add a Joey to the pouch. But
Well, I showed this to Nick when he was in because I was hoping for something a little bit more elaborate.
Yeah.
My team back in WA, Aquinas, I've
Yeah.
got names for all the lines and the back line of the Roos.
yeah, okay.
And this is their emblem right here. So Joey and Tail, I just kept going ChatGPT.
That's so
stronger.
good.
Stronger.
Yeah.
The kangaroo needs
More
to be strong,
muscles.
more
Yeah,
muscles.
bigger.
So
That's
why
brilliant.
couldn't we have put that together?
We should have. I would have put you in charge of it, Scully. I reckon
Too
you probably
late.
would have been more fair than me. To be
Too
honest.
late.
After looking at that, that would have been a cool tat to show your mates.
I don't know. It's actually good.
giant. Look, there's no way it could be that small. Anyways, but thank
so-
you for being gentle on me.
How many coaches you had during your career?
Oh, I think 6. I've had Reece Shaw, I've had David Noble, I've had Lee Adams, Brett Ratton, Clarko, maybe John Blakey might have taken over at one point. I think it's 5. I really think it's 5, but it's a lot.
That's a lot, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was sort of reflecting on your career, which is it's a short one so far, and you've had a lot of coaches.
Yeah,
throughout.
5 in 6 years, but they've all brought something different. I've actually genuinely enjoyed playing under each of them
That's
for different
interesting.
reasons.
Well, I mean, let's start with the one let's stay with the one you're under now, Clarko. I mean,
Yeah.
his resume probably speaks for itself, but I'm wondering what sort of coach he is.
Yeah, well, I feel like he's seen as the outside as someone with a lot of feistiness, a lot of go. And I think his first 2 years, it was more nurturing and showing us what we're doing wrong and not expecting probably a lot from us at that stage early in our development as a team. This year we're seeing that harder edge to Clarko come out a lot more, which is warranted as well. We're playing better footy, so there's more expectation on us boys to perform at a higher level each week. So we've seen a bit more pointiness from Clarko, which I respond really well to. I like. We've had some really good, honest chats about certain aspects of gameplay, certain decisions made on, off field, that type of thing. So Clarko, I really respect as a coach, a person, and I love what he's brought this year as well. So I can only see him getting that harder edge more and more as we get closer up towards the finals.
So you reckon
as well.
you're a sort of player that like goes well with a bit of like direct feedback?
Love strong feedback. Yeah, I like getting it there and then. The best one I remember was a good spray last year when we lost to West Coast. I think we were 5 goals up out Hobart in the last quarter, and I was playing with Oscar Allen, and he kicked 3 on me in the last half. He completely torched me. And there was one play at the very end of the game where Andrew Gaff had a shot from 45 out. Little beknownst to me, you can't kick over a Jan team, Gaffy. I didn't know this, but all the West Coast boys knew this. I thought he was going to slot him like Premiership hero. He'll nail this. So I went to the line to like kind of tap it through, and I didn't know, but Oscar Allen went and just waited at the top of the square. Big pack formed, clearly dropped short, and got tapped straight down Oscar's throat, and he kicked a goal and walked off the ground into a little tiny Hobart room where we have our meetings. And I was sitting right at the front, and we were all sitting there for 2 or 3 minutes, and all fretting. Clarko walks in, slams whiteboard. He's right in front of me, and I have to look up to him like this because he's right there. And he goes, "Where's Chom? Where is he?" And I was like, "Yeah, here." And he's like, "What the? Punch the ball. You're a good mark, mate. You're a good mark when you show us at the footy, but punch it." Oh yeah, and he went through a few of the boys that day, so I wasn't the only one, but I was first cab off the rank. And I'll never forget it. And next week I punched that footy.
Yeah, mate. There is no lesson learnt better than losing a game you should win.
Yeah.
And you being responsible
Yeah.
for it. And as a backman, like that happens, but you'll never forget that word.
I'll never forget that. And I had a laugh with Oscar about it this year. Not the best memory, but definitely a good lesson learned.
I remember one week we played in Brisbane. I don't have many like individual moments that I still remember, but I remember this one. We were leading the whole day at the Gabba.
Yeah.
All over them, and then they got on a run. They had to go to sort of green time. They start fucking goals. We got 6 goals up. No worries. Goal goes, no worries. 4 goals up, 3 goals up, 2 goals up, centre bounce goal.
Nervous.
We're 5 points up, and we're still getting it. We win it back in the back line. We transition the whole way down the field. There's 30 seconds left. The ball gets kicked into the from the middle of the Gabba and it rolls 1 metre from the goal and it stops.
Yeah.
They then, with 30 seconds remaining, they're in win the game mode, go bang, 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 all the way up, straight through the middle of the ground, and James Polkinghorn gets the ball.
Yeah.
Polks. And I am doing my best to play on Dane Zorko at the time.
Yeah.
Don't know what I'm doing there. I was a bit of a rangy
He's got
type.
for speed, hasn't he?
But so I was concerned about that.
Yeah.
So I'm pressing this ball. James Polkinghorn is running through the middle by himself effectively because of the quick transition. And I have a choice. Dane Zorko, who's running at him but looking for the handball.
Yeah.
Or do I go to the man with the footy? Tired, late in the game, young player, never forget it.
Yeah.
I went with Dane.
Yeah.
James just continued his run, kicked a torp from 65 straight through the goals. Game over, siren goes. And on the plane, I didn't have to wait. I had to wait a little bit.
Yeah.
On the plane home, Phil Walsh, the late great Phil Walsh, in front of the entire plane.
Oh, God.
Laptop up in the aisle. Scully, come and look at this. Standing up in the aisle. So there's members of the public here. Not just my teammate. Scully, just want to have a look at this. What the fuck is this? And I'm just standing like, I shouldn't have done that, mate. It's like,
sorry, mate,
you've
I'll
cost
put
us
it
4
down.
points. 4 points.
It's not what you need as a young player either.
Never
Public
forget it, though.
humiliation. Well, mine was pretty much public too because the Hobart rooms, how they're situated, all my family and friends were waiting out in the little area outside and they're like, oh, how's the meeting, mate? I said, yep, great.
Time to wrap it up, guys.
Yeah. Oh, God.
How was the WA trip, the doubleheader in Perth this year?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I really did. I've got family in Perth. They live in Maylands. So I got to spend a fair bit of time with them. Nice. We spent a fair bit of time in Freo. A few characters getting around Freo, walking around at night time. So there was a bit going on, but quite enjoyed it. I love the music and whatnot. There was some good record shops. So I went and had a look in, some cool clothing shops and stuff. But enjoyed our time in Bunbury. The weather was awesome. So we were swimming every morning. So, mate, if I get that little 10-day sabbatical every year over to play footy, I'm pretty happy with it.
I've been pretty forward in public saying I think it's just a brilliant move. I don't really. There's been criticism of it. I haven't had one bit of criticism about it. And then you're a kick away from winning both games there.
Yeah.
And to be honest, you should have won that Freo game.
Yeah, we should have. We had the run of the green. The Freo game was two little patches that we let ourselves down in that game. But
if you walked away with 8 points from that trip, you literally
we look like heroes. But the thing I don't think public probably do understand, but we play 4 games a year in Hobart anyway. So that's 4 games. Next year that goes to 0 games. We played 2 there in Hobart this year, and that's the end of our deal. So the club had to recoup some of the money from that Hobart deal, and that meant going to WA for only 2 games. But we don't travel to WA another time this year, and we would have travelled there anyway. So we're only doing the one trip, and we're still making great funds for the club, and it's a great deal between the WA government and North, and we've got heaps of fans in WA too. So it makes sense on nearly every aspect. So if we're going to sell games, I don't see why it shouldn't be WA.
Perth's better than Tassie as well. So there you go.
That's your words.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Can you talk us about the move to the back line?
Yeah.
So you said you're tall, young player, key forward and stuff. How did that happen and ending up in the back line?
Yeah, move to relevancy as a footballer. because that's what you can do when you're in the back line.
Yeah, I started with a conversation with Clarko late in the season of 2023. So I played my first 7 games as a forward. I broke my leg against Melbourne and my season was alright. I've had surgery. And I think it was about round 20, Clarko proposed that I start going to the footy with him to watch some backs play. And I said to him, I'm like, Clarko, why would I watch backs play? Like, I'm just going to monster him next year. Like, why do I need to go play? Why do I need to go watch him? And he said, oh, no, I really think you should play backline. At that stage, it looked like Ben McKay was probably going to leave the club for Essendon, which ended up eventuating. And I went to a few games of footy with Clarko and watched your Tom Stewarts, your Stephen Mays, those types. And he said, I want you to play similar to the role to a Stewart next year and use your marking strength down back, which I did in that first year. But I think the evolution in my games this year has been a better defence. I think last year I lost 40% of 1v1s I was in, which I wasn't actually in that many 1v1s, but it's a big number as a key back. That was probably worse than competition, whereas this year I've completely nullified that statistic to where I've only lost 8 to 10%. So that's been the big improvement in my game, which I think last year I viewed it as I was a marking interceptor, whereas this year I've accepted I'm a key back first and foremost, and if I'm in a position to mark the ball, I will. But that all started with that conversation with Clarko last year, which was pretty cool.
You see the best backs in the comp, and clearly I've got a soft spot for it, but I think you see that evolution, especially with guys that go forward to back, and
Yeah.
then guys I play with like Jeremy McGovern. I think people thought, oh, he's such a brilliant interceptor. He's probably the best interceptor who've played the game. But he was a really good one-on-one defender.
Yeah.
And when you figure that out, which sounds like you have, like you become unstoppable
Yeah.
because you can intercept, but if you can defend first, which is what you want, your coaches want, but probably most importantly your teammates.
Yeah.
The teammates would rather you keep your opposition to one contest win and you
Yeah.
have 3 intercept marks than you have 10 intercept marks
Yeah,
and
and
they kick 5 goals, right?
Which happened in my first game. I think I got lauded for my first game as a defender. I had 25, and I think it took a few intercept marks.
Wow.
Which is a big game
That's
for
big.
down back, and I was like, how easy is this? Like, don't ever put me forward again. But the thing people forget is I think Hit would kick 4 that game, and Joe Danaher kicked 5, and I reckon 7 were on me. So it's been a big shift.
I tell you what, you would have moved yourself out of Jack Buckley medal votes for that. Now, I want to ask you about this because I can only assume that aspirations in your life, let alone football career, probably number 3 or 4, like a best and fairest or something like that.
Yes, yeah.
Premiership, quite high.
Yeah.
Probably 2.
Probably 2.
Yeah.
But number 1 has to be the Jack Buckley medal as the BackChat Backman of the Year. It's been going for 2 years. Well, I don't have to tell you about it.
Yeah,
It's
I
number
know
1
all about
priority.
it. Yeah, well,
So-
Bucks won in his first year, didn't he?
Yes, correct. But if you have had 4 kicked on you, can't get votes.
Yeah.
Like there's an algorithm that works here.
That's really good. It gives integrity to the award as well.
Absolutely.
Unlike the Brownlow where you can have 36 touches and turn over 20 times, and we're all okay with that. You can have your 3 votes.
Thank
but
you.
Yeah.
There's integrity to this award, and look, I was actually pretty disappointed with Jared when he went on and discredited the fact that Back should be given an award because we got the Coleman. We all know we have that. We've got the Brownlow. We know we have that. We have the reverse Coleman actually, which is an award you don't want to win, but we don't have a genuine Backs award, do we? And coaches' votes all well and good, but they're probably going the mids half the time as well. So
Yeah, we've got the coaches award. We've got the players MVP.
We've got like the Kia Special Player of the Year.
We've got the
Yeah.
mark of the year, the goal of the year.
AFLPA award.
So Jared says, "Oh, we can't just give out ribbons." Jared, that's what we do. Everyone gets a ribbon, other than Backman. That is literally what happens.
We're the shunned, we're the shadow people.
So the Golden Fist has always been a great part, and Danny Frawley, who's a brilliant operator, and we think of him daily. He started the Golden Fist, and for 7 years it was Dower key backs that won it. Alex Rance, Jeremy McGovern won one.
Blokes getting it done.
Sis was kind of getting in the areas. I think Ted Richards won one.
Yep.
Like we're talking proper key
backman.
defenders. Unfortunately, since Danny's passing, I saw the leaderboard 2 weeks
Few
ago.
rebounders in there, yeah.
Josh Dacos was on top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, winger.
So I just want to push back as a current AFL player and just to hear you talk about the Jack Buckley medal. It's important, correct?
Yeah, it's important to me, and I hope I've polled a few votes this year. I think my last few weeks being injured probably hasn't helped my chances of winning, but it's definitely an aspiration that I want to hit and get.
Great. Well, Sam Taylor was running away with it early days.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, he's
surprises.
got probably 4 or 5 weeks.
Can we
on
get
the sidelines.
is Charlie is he on the leaderboard? I'm sure he's had votes this year. Can we have a little
Jaiden
look?
usually puts the votes
I'm
together.
hoping they're about somewhere.
You will have votes. Toby Pink sort of rise to prominence though, the pink eye. I mean, he's
been
been
doing well.
stripping you from votes. To be
Yeah,
honest.
he's been when you're playing such a strong backline for keys like Pinky and myself. It's you take votes with each other. You see it every year in that midfielders medal they do at the end of the year on a Monday, but people just take votes off each other. So yeah, I'm hoping thereabouts.
Yeah, well, Hammer wanted to give Toby 20 votes in one game because he played so well. Like that's
So how does the voting system work?
it's
an algorithm.
It is
We
a
can-
strict algorithm.
Yeah,
that was
okay,
probably
yeah.
the one time he tried to go a bit rogue. Yeah.
So the Brownlow or the midfielders award on the Monday before the grand final. He got a 5.
You got to fight. That's
Is that good?
That's
Five.
most votes you can get.
Yeah. So it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 every
Brilliant.
week. But
Yeah,
I think he's
wonderful.
he's top 5. I'm sure he is.
love
But
that.
we don't actually know because we shut down voting because of course people listening to this will know the greatest event on Monday before the grand final is not the Brownlow medal.
No, it's not.
It's the Jack Buckley medal.
Yeah.
So last
Anyone do
year,
a vote count.
last year, Harris Andrews won it, and mate, he's prepping for a grand final. And he sent through a full video in a tuxedo. It was
He
brilliant.
had his All Australian blazer on. He's like, I'm taking this off. I don't want that.
Oh, how good's that? What a legend.
So I hope you get out there, but we shut the votes down. We
Yeah.
sort of make them public for the first 10 rounds, and
Yeah.
then you got to come to the night to find
Yeah,
out who
perfect.
wins.
I'll be there, lads. I'll be there.
Great.
I genuinely, I'll make this commitment to you right now.
Yeah.
If North don't make finals, if that no, I'm just saying if they don't make finals,
Yeah.
I will. Yeah, I will fly you to Perth for the
brilliant
Jack Buckley medal.
Mate, I'd love nothing more.
You can stay in Maylands. You've got family there.
Perfect,
Right
yeah, you're
around the
not putting
corner
me
from
in a
Liverpool
hotel,
Hotel.
okay?
Yep.
I do think this is probably a bit of a turn, but and mate, if you don't feel comfortable about speaking about it, please tell me. But I think about footy and family, and I know you lost your mum, and I actually went through something pretty similar. Lost my old man when I was 21 and playing footy, and I think I remember seeing you speak about it when it was all happening.
Yeah.
Can you speak about what the footy club sort of meant to you around that sort of time? And you can speak about your mum as well.
Yeah.
If you feel comfortable about it.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to touch on that. The footy club were pretty big. It was a sudden passing. So I was I was at the end of my first year, so I just turned 19. I was actually by chance at my brother's house and went and heard from mum for 2 or 3 days, which was a bit weird at that point in time. And I got a phone call from my grandma and she's like, I haven't heard from mum for a day or two, and mum was looking after Nan at the time. And yeah, I'd gone on the phone to my mum's best friend and said, can you go and check on mum? And as it eventuated, mum had passed overnight 1 or 2 of the days before from a sudden heart issue. So we jumped in the car and head down. And I'll never forget that journey home. It was 2.5 hours. My brother had a few beers, so I had to drive. And it was the longest 2.5 hours of my life because you knew what you were going home to, but it was the journey that you didn't want the journey to end because it kind of affirms that it's real. But the club, our PDM was one of the first people I spoke to at that point. His name's Neil Connell. He was the first to reach. I texted him and said what had happened and I was heading home. And first person to reach out, he made sure I had any support network I need. He was down there the next day with me as well. And the club all the way through and all my mates were so supportive through that tough period because it was a tough period. I was still finding my way. I felt guilty in a way that I hadn't been able to give back to my mum. And I'd finally, all this work mum had put into my footy and taking me to games and showing me how to play and sharing this love of footy with me, I wasn't able to give that back to her because I didn't play in my first year either, so she didn't even get to watch me play. So it was hard, but the footy club was, absolutely unbelievable. And it was a place I could go to escape from kind of the reality of what had just happened at home. And I took a week off the club, spent time with family, and then went straight back into pre-season training in November. And I remember just loved being around the boys. And 5 days after getting back to pre-season training, I had this real sore calf pain at training and went and had a scan, and I had this stress fracture in my bone in my leg. And I just thought, geez, like Will's coming on me here, won't be able to play footy this year. And I had to go and get an intramedullary rod put in my leg at that point. So it's pretty rough 4 weeks. So I've got this metal rod that goes the length of my tibia to take load off that bone. It was just tough, but the best thing I did that year was stick at footy, back against the wall type thing. It builds a lot of resilience. And that was something mum always instilled in me as well, is to, when your back's against the wall, fight out of it. And I pushed through the whole year. I played 3 games of VFL at the end of the year as a forward and played some good footy and was rewarded with a debut in round 22 against Sydney. I missed my second game though because I broke my collarbone at training the next week. But it's not something I've spoken public about a lot. I spoke about it this year after we played Brisbane. It was fell on mum's birthday and I wore a black armband for mum. And it was funny, I had a really good game that day. I felt like I was playing for her and we nearly won the game. And it's pretty emotive. I don't like to go home and go to the cemetery and that type of thing. I'm not that type of person. I like to remember memories and talk to my mates about experiences I've had with mum. And now I've got 3 wonderful women in my life that are all mum's best mates that come to a lot of my footy matches. I go and have dinner with them all the time. So they're kind of like surrogate mothers in a way, which has been awesome to bounce ideas off and chat to and just check in. So it was a really tough period in my life, but there's been some awesome stuff that's still come out of that whole experience, as sad and as tragic as it was.
Yeah, I reflect on this a fair bit and I appreciate you sharing because people who are watching, that's difficult for you to talk about, but there'll be people watching that have either been through grief, going through grief, don't know they're about to and they're about to. So sharing your story, I try to do the same. I lost my old man similar time to you, exactly the same, played footy a week later and probably could have dealt with it better. I probably didn't deal with it as well as I
Shunned
could
it
at
a
the
bit.
time. Yeah, and
Yeah.
footy was great for that though. Footy just moves on regardless, doesn't it? Like
Yeah,
it's
you
just
just
a
keep
footy
going.
club.
You have to. Yeah.
But, mate, playing with them on your shoulder, I'm sure she's really proud of you, definitely. But just sharing it and just telling people about showing some resilience and dealing with adversity is pretty strong, mate. I've always been impressed watching you after I saw you speak about that, because there'd be a lot of people going through the same stuff that you don't even know about, right?
Yeah, well, grief is going to happen to anyone at any point of life as well, and everyone will experience some form of it at different points. But yeah, I guess it's how you deal with it and who you connect with. And that was one thing you mentioned, was talking about it and speaking to my good mates about it was massive. And they were all really good friends with my mum as well, so they were affected as much as I was. But being able to absolutely verbalise how I was feeling each day, and you'd have off days as well. You'd go into footy clubs on day and be an absolute right prick. But I think people would really understand as well if you actually spoke about that. And we have a great thing in our footy club that we've been doing for years, where I'm sure you probably did similar at West Coast, where you get to tell a bit of your story at different points. And I've touched on my mum a few times, and it's pretty moving seeing the amount of care and love in the room as well, especially after you finish telling your story, and how much people care about you. And I think everyone has people that care about them at different points and just want to look after you.
Well, I think that's what you forget about footy clubs as well. There's a lot of win-loss and who's your coach, and we talk about stories here, but in the end, like it actually turns into a big family for you.
Yeah.
That's cool. You got a big bunch of mates. Like if they're in Hobart waiting outside the room,
Yeah.
so you've still got a bit of a crew that comes to games and either ribs you on or gives you a bit of shit. From
Mostly gives me shit, mate. like to bring me down to earth, but
Good.
yeah, grew up in Sale. All those boys are up in Melbourne now, either doing trades or at uni, and I live with my best mate for years up here as well, since moved out. But the support network I've got from back home is awesome, and every time I go home, there's always people you want to catch up with and see too.
Did you say before you're living with George?
Yeah, so I've moved into a place in Carlton now, so I'm with Georgie Warlaw and Jackson Archer.
What's that like?
It's been good fun. We've been there for 6 months.
What a house.
Yeah, it's
Far
good.
out.
We've got this cool terrace house. It's 4-bedroom. We've got 3 rooms, and we've got a little studio room at the front that we play a bit of music in. But we just moved there. We wanted to be able to walk cafes, walk to the pub, be in amongst the young kind of core while we're still young as well. And yeah, in our formative 20 years. So it's been great fun. I was in Moonee Ponds for a bit, which is kind of like it's a bit similar to Maylands in Perth, really. It's a family kind of suburb, kind of affluent, but wasn't quite for me, so I'm pretty happy I moved in with those boys. And Geordie's a bit of a character. He's good fun to be around.
Making me jealous, like in Carlton, near the pub.
Oh, it's
Take
perfect,
me
mate.
back.
It's so good. It's so good. I could live there for a long time, and I could be 35 and kind of still acting like I'm 20 at this rate, I reckon.
Hello. Nice to see you guys. Yeah. Did I see you walk in here with a guitar? I'm not going to make you play. Dan was like,
I did, yeah. I'm not sure I want to play. I did. I was thinking of a few lyrics on the way in about the Buckley medal, so I might have a bit of a strum, but I'm not sure I want to put it out yet. So we'll see.
Maybe you.
We'll do it post, and if it's any good,
Well, how about with the Jack Buckley medal, like a live performance at the Jack Buckley?
Yeah, I'm happy to do that.
That's
my
Let's
goodness
do that.
gracious.
We'll do our first practice session today. If it's any good, you can let me know.
If
But
Charlie Comben plays a live acoustic set at the Jack Buckley medal, it might be actually
after he's just won it and he's wearing it.
that would be nice. It'd be like Jackie Real of the Killers.
Correct.
I'll be singing with my own band.
Except he's a forward.
Yeah.
So Brownlow Medal Entertainment. I can't even remember someone playing there. I've been to one Brownlow, and I was the date of one of the other players. Like, I can't remember who played. I'll tell you what you remember, if the winner gets up on stage and starts playing a song about the medal. No, who's going to win this year? Nick Dacos isn't bringing his recorder along to give it.
He's not. He probably listens to Drake and Duk Duk music, I reckon. But it was funny. I was in the car on the way here, and as you mentioned, I've got our own podcast live show tonight, and we always sing out on that. So I'm gonna play "Don't Look Back in Anger" as bit of a tribute to Oasis coming back and playing in Cardiff this week.
So what do you mean sing out? Explain that to our listeners.
Yeah, okay. So at the end of every podcast, usually there's a song or something that comes up while we're speaking and discussing. And at the end of every podcast, I'll get the computer up with YouTube on and put the karaoke version of that song up. And Drapes, myself, and Nikki Butler all sing the song on the way out. And we probably get a verse and half a chorus in, and they go, "All right, thanks, plumbers." Our listeners are plumbers, 200 100 plus residents. So it's good fun. Yeah.
That's
that's
impressive.
Yeah, I've got a shit voice. It's no good.
Oh,
it's
I've
really
got the
not
shittest
good.
voice ever.
Sam Lawler.
Yes.
Do you happen to come across that?
Yeah,
He posted TikTok of him singing a Zach Bryan song.
I thought it was
Brilliant.
like dubbed, but that was him.
Yeah, he's really good.
he's
He's
awesome.
talented. So
And
I'm not quite
who's
that.
the Adelaide? Who plays at Adelaide?
Rankin.
Yeah, Rankin.
Yeah, he's talented as well. A few budding musicians getting around the AFL, I reckon.
Should do like The Voice, but AFL. Something like that.
I'll jump on.
Can we? I kind of feel like I want to sing this like episode out at the end of it. Can we come up with some song?
Yeah,
I was showing you a Creed. I was showing some Creed lyrics before.
What's your go-to? You like
Hold me
Creed?
now.
I'm 6 feet on the ground.
No, well, we're not done yet. That is probably enough questions from you and I, Dan.
Yep.
Before we let you leave, how we finish our episodes is social media, not social media.
Brilliant.
See what I did with that?
Yeah, that's good. That's your name, yep.
Thought so.
He's got it.
Yes, of course he does. He's a backman. He gets it.
Switched
So
on.
this is where the people get to ask you the questions.
Brilliant.
We open it up to our friends and family on our network, and we're going to get the first one going from the Jaiden. I like it.
Who of all your teammates can you see getting the fattest after their career?
Easy. We were talking Ruckman before. Tristan Sherry, like he's already in a fight with the calipers trying to keep his skin folds down. So he's not well acquainted. Well, he is well acquainted with the dietitian. He's in there every week. But Big X, he's big boy now, and he'll blow out. But he does have a gym in his house, so hopefully I'll hold out hope. But he loves to feed Big X.
It's like, who's your toughest matchup over your career, Tristan? Oh, it's the calipers. Don't worry about Gorn, the Grundy, only the boys.
Yeah, he's broken a few pairs, I think, the big fella.
That's actually cold.
That's rough.
All right. Big Will Phillips.
Chom.
Is this the Will Phillips?
I don't know.
Yeah, could be.
Do you think North can play finals next year?
I really do. Yeah, I really do. I still think we can finish up around 12th, 11th, 12th, around there this year. We'll get a few players back from injury this week, and hopefully we can continue a bit of form and finish the year strong. But yeah, I reckon we'll be sniffing around the 8 next year.
Xavier William asks.
How many state league games has Big Butsy played?
Butsy, our co-host, his only claim to fame is playing 43 state league football matches, and it's so much so, and he mentions it every episode.
Right.
We got T-shirts printed with 43 SLG on them for 43 state league games.
Wow.
So, he loves the state leaguers. He's one of those guys that you meet at the pub that would have made AFL but did his knee.
Yeah.
That's his storyline. So shout out to Butsy, love him lots.
I really feel like there's some cross collaboration happening
Yep.
with 200. There's a lot of synergies between what you boys
we love
are
the
doing and
state
what we are.
leaguers.
Like Hammer, played one game of AFL. One of the great games of all time. Dan with his buddies.
Yeah, played international fistball for Australia against New
Excuse
Zealand.
me,
Yeah.
what?
Did you know that?
What's
You played for Australia for anything?
No, what is it?
You and I have played
I
AFL.
don't know what the sport is.
No,
Yeah,
well,
it's fistball.
Is that like handball? Or?
It's
No,
like
it's like
handball,
fistball,
but with
actually.
your fist only, and it's more like volleyball. But it's
Well, I'm going to have to see this post-pod. I'm
it is
intrigued.
it is the sport born for backmen.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah,
Spoiling.
all you do is punch it.
Mate,
Yeah, he's
you
punching the
spoil the ball. You're
I
not
love
allowed
it.
to catch it. You're not allowed to open fist it.
No
You get
open
sent
hands.
off the ground
Oh,
if you open.
beautiful.
Yeah.
That's poetry.
So we found it 2 years ago. While you're on the podcast, we found it 2 years ago, and within 4 seconds, I said, "We're making a team." So we discovered that Western Australia, there's a national comp. Western Australia had never been represented at the national
Wow.
tournament.
Yeah.
So we put it out to our listeners. We ran a full draft combine.
That's cool.
We it was looking back on it was actually
Oh, mate, it was
good fun.
elite.
We branded it. We had like a NASCAR sponsors jersey.
so good.
Lady of the Hotel got right behind it. TABtouch got right behind it. Took us over. The tournament was in Geelong, national champs. We trained for 6 weeks. We had full kits, like fistball kits. And we lost.
Yeah.
They were good. The
pros
boys
had
were
you
good. But
covered.
out of that,
Yeah.
Dan made the Australian team.
Yeah, they picked the national
That's
team
so
from that.
good.
Yeah.
and he played for Australia.
Born to
Yeah,
be
I'm
back.
about to, in a few weeks, fly to Geelong to
That
play
could
New
be
Zealand
post-footy
again.
for me, lads.
Yeah,
correct.
absolutely. You'd
Or
be
during
good.
footy, I suppose. Hey, can I just ask? It's not. This is. I'm going to jump into social media. Where's Chom come from?
Chom. So
That's your nickname. For
yeah,
people that don't-
that's nickname. So this is slightly unrelated, but Year 7 athletics at school. I won the high jump, and it called out. They called out your name. They go first in the high jump, yada yada. Anyway, my name get called out. And they're first in the high jump, Charlie Condon, and so everyone called me Condom for a year. And the next year, Year 8, is when I got Chom, and they called out. They said, second hurdles, Charlie Chomben, and from then my name kind of got combined. So it's also a combination of Charlie and Comben brings
Yes.
Chom. So a few of the boys at school claimed that, but it got called out over the loudspeaker.
That's very, very good. Harrison Huntley.
Would you get more excited for a massive spoil 10 rows back or kicking a goal?
Come on, mate.
Yeah.
The spoil.
Yeah, absolutely.
Come on, mate. Saxon Sounders.
Can you rank the members? I don't know what in, but can you rank the members of the 200 Plus podcast?
Yeah, okay. I'll just do it in terms of who I want to hang out with. I've got Drapes at 1, I've got myself second, and then Butsy last. just talks too much about himself, the big fella.
So you'd rather hang out with Drapes than yourself?
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's fair. Yep.
Yeah, that's very good. That is very good. Daylight third.
Yeah.
Butts fourth. Jared, you're going to have to clip some of this up for Butts. He's copped a bit of a ribbing.
Yeah, he'll want my head for it too.
43 of the great games, so I'm sure I'll seed into my brain. Jared Child.
Is Scully the most annoying boundary boy on Fox?
Wow.
Boundary boy.
Boundary boy.
That hurts. It hurts a little bit.
Youthful.
Answer the question.
No, I'm happy with Scully. I've only really ran into him the once or twice. A Fremantle, you're there as well. But I'm happy with Scully. He's good. He's good at what he does.
Very casual operation we ran in Bunbury, wasn't it?
It was perfect.
I feel bad.
Plastic white chairs. Yeah, they didn't roll the red carpet out me. That's for sure. Maybe if it was Nick Larky or something, they would have. But
Can I tell you what happened there? So they go, who do you want to interview? And you were my number one.
yeah.
I was like, none of these, like, Josh Simpkin, rah.
Yeah.
Luke Davies,
Good on
awesome.
him. Cheap
Great
touches
midfielder.
him in, yeah.
Jack Darling, Premiership teammate, no thanks. Give me Charlie Comben, please.
That's so good.
And surprisingly, I got you. I was
Yeah.
surprised.
Were you in a sling at the time?
No, this
Nah,
is
this
before
is
the game.
before.
This is the
before
Scully
the game.
curse.
This is when he
I thought
cursed
you
me.
Yeah, right. Okay. That's fair.
And last one from Johnson and Friends.
Johnson and friends. Who do you recruit for the 200 Plus podcast when Drapesy goes to Brisbane next year?
Well, I hope Drape stays in Melbourne. I've got no inside mail on that either, Scully. So you can't run off to the boys over there.
Didn't Drapes reveal some trade?
Oh yeah, we had trade gate last year. So Drapes went on record saying that
McRae.
Bailey Smith, McRae, Caleb Daniel, and Bailey Dale are all going to get traded. And well, now looking back to his credit, he hit 3 from 4. But I don't think we're quite ready for AFL players to come out and predict trades from other teams, which I understand. But if it was the NBA, probably a different story. But that was a big blow up.
Yeah, you boys would have been. I just remember seeing that, thinking you boys would be spewing at this.
Oh, Drapes had 2 weeks off the pod, and just like I'm thinking he's done it. He's not coming back. But I'm
2
not
weeks
gonna.
is nothing.
I'm not gonna get myself in any trade gate controversy, and I'll
All right, so who's North Melbourne getting next year? Yeah, looking forward to Jeremy Cameron joining us in season 2026.
Well, mate, if you go on the Carlton draft, we might bring you back as a key.
Oh boy, that won't be happening. And our very last question from the Eggman.
How do you like your eggs?
How do I like my eggs? I've been changing them up. So I'm usually a scrambled guy, pepper and salt on sourdough buttered. But I've rolled into Drapes. I went for brekkie with him on Saturday morning and he got fried. And when he said fried, I'm like, who gets fried eggs, mate?
Yeah.
So I got fried as well and I really enjoyed them.
Huh.
But I'd still say poach is my number one.
I listed every egg.
Poached eggs.
Mate, good luck tonight on the live show.
Yeah.
200 plus. Go and check the boys out. You've got Charlie, you've got Drapes, and you've got the other guy.
Yeah.
And they're great. Mate, good luck tonight.
Awesome. Thanks, Joey.
You're not going to need it. You're brilliant. You've been really natural and appreciate all the stories as well, mate. BackChat __ is where you can find all of our stuff on social media. BackChatStudios.com.au. You'll find your way to our stuff there as well. Paywise powering the podcast in season 2025. ID Athletic, Whippersnapper Whisky, Mamba Digital, TABtouch, Shelter Brewing Co, Leadable Precinct, Camera Electronic, and On1 Services. Thank you for making the podcast great. This has been Charlie Comben. Thanks, mate.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.